Good morning, traders. Today is Thursday, September 30th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Ba-dum-bum-bum, the Pirate Traders live stream. All right. So what are we looking at today? Honestly, you could really just go back and watch the first 5 minutes of the live stream yesterday, and you would get all the information that you need for this morning. It's basically the same exact scenario, right? The overnight just balanced to slightly higher. Although the only difference from what I said yesterday to today is yesterday I said the highest probabilities were either rotation sideways or a pull back down to the 100 daily. Today I would say it's either rotation sideways or a push higher to try to head up and start, attempting to fill the gap that we have above. The overnight inventory is net long. I would say it's about 30% net long. They had a huge push higher just like yesterday, but also just like yesterday, they pulled it back down. So they've already had a lot of the counter auction to that overnight inventory. I would still expect upon open, we'll have a small counter auction to the downside, but I just don't think it has to be very major because they've already absorbed a lot of those long contracts. Okay. They are starting to build sort of a 45-degree angle in right here. It's not an official 45-degree angle, but that is sometimes a sign of strength. If the overnight builds a good strong 45-degree angle, that can hold as a low for the regular trading hours market. So that would be right here. To officially be a 45-degree angle, it has to be from the low of the day like this. But this one looks interesting to me that there could be support in there. So we'll be watching that counter auction to the downside to see, does it pull below there or does it find support in that area where these buyers have been stepping in. As far as what should happen when the market opens today, you know what I'm going to say. Chop, choppity, chop, 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 chop. We should get some rotation early in the morning for the first half an hour or hour of the day because we are opening inside the previous day's range, inside the previous day's value area, and literally right on top of the previous day's point of control. You can also see the overnight spent a ton of time in this area for the last 2 nights right here. So this area should require some grinding to get through one direction or another. So I will expect some chop this morning. The major levels to watch to the upside or the downside is basically just going to be yesterday's high and low. For the downside, you could look at the overnight low because there's that nice note of volume and the closing price right there. So if the market pushes below that, comes back up and can't get above it, you look for a short for continuation down, as well as yesterday's low, same exact play, pushes below it, comes back up, finds resistance. Sorry, I said support earlier, I meant resistance. Resistance, you look for the play down to the next level, and so on and so forth, all the way down to that 100 daily, which is down there. Looking at the daily candlesticks, it does almost look like the market might need to pull back to there just because of the shape of the last 2 days. Let me just pull that up here. So if you look at these candlesticks, to me, it could go either way, right? You could see them continuing to trade higher, but I could also see them needing to just pop right back down to that 100 daily, looking for support, and then get the rotation up. So I really am sort of looking at it as like anything can happen today, although I think the highest probability is continuation higher. If we fell below yesterday's low, I wouldn't be much more worried than that 100 daily. I think that could act as support if we do fall below there. Also worth noting that 20 moving average on the daily is literally sitting right on top of the 50, looking to cross. So if we're going to stop that from happening and turn it back up, we really need a big push today to attempt to fill that gap we left behind. Both the 50 and the 20 could act as resistance on the way back up, as could this trend line down that we have here. And then so obviously to the above us, it's the same deal as below us. Yesterday's high is kind of the major support resistance. If we're able to push up through it, come back down, find support, we would look for continuation higher. But if we push up through it and then we fail and pull back into yesterday's range, that would be a short for continuation of the rotation in this lower area. And any failure for the market today to get above yesterday's high or below yesterday's low increases the odds that we're just going to chop in this range. One more element to increase the odds of that is the fact that today is a monthly options expiry. I always mention this because more often than not, those are muted days, days where the market has very small amounts of volatility and it just kind of grinds around in a very boring way. But it doesn't always happen. We've had exciting days on monthly options expiries as well. So it doesn't mean it has to be a rotational day. Okay. So the market is open and the chop has begun. The first push was higher. We're expecting a counter auction to the downside. So again, we'll see how the market reacts to this area in here. Does it find support somewhere in there? Which would be bullish. Internals opening bullish. As to be expected with the overnight inventory. It's also worth mentioning yesterday that the value area was overlapping to higher. So that is a neutral to bullish signal. If we can continue that pattern today, it could mean we're starting a new trend higher. Man, they're pushing it instantly. Good morning, RK Leon. Good to see you. Welcome. Mangala back with us. Good morning to you. Chris is here. Good to see you again. Trading Donkey, starting the morning with some small talk. I'm doing fantastic. How are you? Tom, good morning to you. Good morning to my friend from Belarus. I don't think I forgot to monetize. YouTube might have just not showed you an ad today. Thank you for reminding me about that gap. So the gap above is a major target. If we can get above yesterday's high and then find support, you have to recognize that traders who've been trading for a long time are obsessed with gaps because the probability of filling is very, very high. So as soon as they start to believe the market is targeting that, they will pile into trades to get there. So if the market's able to push above yesterday's high, come back down and find support, this is a good long to see if they can get up into that gap. Even if they have to grind their way up to it and you wait to enter up here, it's still a very high probability trade once you get in that gap that the gap will fill. And of course, in a when what should happen doesn't scenario, if they try to get up into that gap and they can't, there's a lot of information. They can't fill it. There's a lot of information in that as well. Worth noting, the overnight perfectly filled their gap from the previous night right there. Boom, boom. Right? So the overnight traders did that last night. They saw their gap from the previous night and they were like, ooh, that's our target. And as soon as they filled it, boom, overnight inventory pulled right back down. So a lot of traders look at those gaps. Okay, market's finding support right in this node of volume from yesterday. Basically at the open price. So let's see if they can hold that. Good morning, Jose. Fausto in the house. Good to see you. Ronald, good morning to you. Jay, good morning to you. Fausto, okay. Philip, good morning to you. Nicholas, good to see you. Blessings. Good day, my lord. Vincent, good to see you. JG, good morning. Henry, good morning. Bob, Professor Pirate. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? Professor Pirate. Getting some chop. Choppity chop chop. Okay, so can this 45-degree angle, can we find support in here? Trading Doc can confirm. Been trading for a while, obsessed with gaps. Okay, well, no support there. So the next support is going to be this node of volume from our opening price yesterday, around 43.57. And like I said earlier this morning, I start to get bearish if we get below the overnight low, because that's sort of where the last node of volume for support is. So we would expect there'll be buyers layering in here. We're also about to touch that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles that very commonly acts as support. Design up. Good morning to all you landlubbers. I'm so sorry my pirate is always Irish. What does an American pirate sound like? I do not know. Chitin, good morning to you. Welcome. James, good to see you. Welcome. Amir is back with us. Good morning to you. Manny, keep hearing about market correction. What are your thoughts on that, Charles? Yeah, I mean, I don't really think in longer term basis like that. I like to just go day by day and monitor what the market is doing. But as I said this morning, to me, any pullback below yesterday's low is likely to find support in that 100 daily. I don't really have any good thesis for that other than that's just what the charts kind of look like they want to do on the regular candlesticks. I know that's a very non-technical way of looking at things. But like when I saw the dojis that we have here, like when I saw the way the candlesticks look with the big wicks, I just thought to myself, it kind of feels like the market needs to go back down and tap support one more time before it gets a continuation higher. So to me, I'm not going to get overly bearish until we get back to that 100. But if that fails, yeah, I mean, it's a correction. This was already a 5% correction right here. So a continuation of that could get us to a 10% correction. Like, let's just look at where would the 20 daily, the 200 daily be from the high. So if we got down to the 200, that would be almost a 10% correction in the market. So essentially double the move we've already done. So I get bearish for that if that 100 daily doesn't hold. But I don't even get bearish for that 100 daily until we break below yesterday's low. Otherwise, I assume rotation in here, just like we had yesterday. Unless we get above yesterday's high, in which case I assume a bullish push up to get that gap fill. I'm open to all three potential scenarios. And so far, the only one the market-generated information has confirmed is rotation within yesterday's range. Design knob, NQ chopping onions. They're both chopping. As to be expected, they're just grinding around inside yesterday's value area. Market loves to do that, especially in the first hour of the day. Think of all the traders just getting whipsawed like crazy in here. They got long up here. Then they panicked out of it here. It pushed down to here. And then they tried to get short thinking it was going to continue. And now they're going to panic out of those shorts and it's going to push back up to here. Ooh, the market loves that. Good morning, D. Good to see you again. Arthur, good morning to you. J Trader, possible bull trap. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They push it up really fast so that people feel like FOMO. They're like, oh my God, I have to get in now. I can't wait for it to pull back into support. It'll never come back. I'll miss my trade. And then as soon as they enter up here, it floats right back down. Squeeze them back out. That is the chop, baby. PC, news at 9:45. That's right now. What's it going to be? So for those of you that are newer to the channel, just so you know the way I look at markets, when we open inside the previous day's range, particularly inside the previous day's value area, I don't really take trades, almost never, until the market has sort of picked a direction and I know what it's doing. So often for the first hour of the day on a day like today, I'm not even trying to take a trade. I'm just sitting here watching what the market's doing and asking myself, where is it building support? What's the tempo? Where are they bringing in the volume? What does it look like today is going to turn out to be? I'm more focused on just understanding what the market is doing so that once I feel like I have an understanding, then I can start entering trades. Because if I start trying to buy, ooh, look, it's down here in support, let me buy that real quick during the chop, my mind will become overwhelmed with the emotions of being in trades. And so, there's something that Jim Dalton calls mental capital. And you only have, just like you only have so much risk capital that you can trade with on any particular day, you only have so much mental capital. So if you burn it all up first thing in the morning trying to trade the chop, you have less mental energy for the rest of the day to focus on really good high probability opportunities. Powell and Yellen testifying again? Again? What more could these people say? That's why you use Adderall, Charles. I should start using Adderall. Pop it right at about 11:30 when I start to get bored. Boom. Trading donkey. I've never seen a less true statement than that. Diane, window dressing today and tomorrow. Are you referring to the Fed chair speaking? Yeah, knife. Somebody's giving donkey placebos. And good morning. Yeah, I wouldn't take it first thing in the morning. I got plenty of mental capital right now. Okay, so far this is starting to shape up to be a little bullish here. Found support on the 20 moving average on the 15-minute candle. And the ticks, they had to pull back in to absorb that overnight activity, but they're staying well above the zero line. So it's still chop right now, but it's starting to look a little more bullish. So let's look for this to remain support in here. Can the market stay above that opening price? Month end, yeah. And those quarterly options expiries. I know I sound like a broken record, but So many times in the past, it's been like a slow, grindy day, and I've been like, why is it doing this? And then I'll look it up, and oh, it's the monthly options expiries. Son of a gun. So if you're newer to trading and you're asking yourself, wait a minute, why? Like, why does it matter if the options expire? What effect does that have on the market? Well, the big players, the major players, this is when they have to sort of like, refresh their portfolios. And so they don't want the market being crazy volatile. They want to be able to keep it nice and tight and condensed so that they get the fills that they want on their new positions. 37 likes, 112 people here. If you like the pirate, push the thumbs up. Support the channel. Tell YouTube, I like this guy. He's all right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, so it's very slow and grindy, but they're building support higher. They're pushing higher, bringing in volume. Pushing higher, bringing in volume. Again, I'll be ready to go long if we get above yesterday's high, come back down, and then find support in here. I'll be looking for continuation to try to fill that gap above. Otherwise, if it fails to get above yesterday's high, I'll just assume it's going to come back down and keep rotating. Salmon River, we love the pirate. Appreciate you, brother. Ah, thank you so much. 69 likes. Design Knob says he loved the hypnosis video. But why did I make the voice sound like Lurch? Well, I did a bunch of research, and lower tones are more effective for hypnosis. So I took it as low as I could take it without it sounding weird, without it sounding like Batman. Don't stop trading. Hold on to that feeling. We need to find support at the open. Nope. Chop. New induction. You only see 200 likes first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have slipped in little bits like, you always push the like button when you watch a live stream. Douglas, why did I start to stream originally? Well, when I very first started doing it, I just did it so that people could get access to Market Profile for free. For years, I wanted, like, I was listening to Peter Resnicek talk about Market Profile, and I subscribed to his like pre-market perspective, and so you get like a single screenshot of what the profile looks like at the beginning of the day, but you can't watch it throughout the day. And so I just started like live streaming my screen to basically give people like me who couldn't afford to pay the $300 a month for the software free access to it. But then they just kept asking questions in the chat, and before long it became a thing. So the fact that they're building this support right on the exact level as yesterday, well, now it's too late, but is not bullish. You know what I mean? It was the exact same level. That's a sign of short-term traders trying to buy it. So as soon as it gets below, boom, they get that pop and they get squeezed out, which is what just happened. So beware of the rotation on quarterly options. They want to keep this in a tight range so they can get those fills. Get the fills to pay the bills. Design knob, $10 a month seems too cheap to you. You donate $300 a month. No, I mean it's a numbers game, right? The idea is I'd rather have, 2 or 300 people paying $10 a month than have 10 people paying $100 a month or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm trying to build a community. And the bigger the community, the better, because the more resources that are available, the more ideas, the more diversity. So keep the entry price cheap. That's what I say. Salmon River. A little while ago, someone mentioned the color yellow, and I clucked like a chicken. What's that about? I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to. I have been to those like live hypnosis shows before. I used to work on a cruise ship, and we'd have them all the time. And it is hilarious how well that works. Douglas, when did I start doing it? Like a year and a few months ago. Diane, no. Window Traders is a very, very small company. They love it. Any exposure. I mean, I would say probably since I started, I've got them at least 30 or more clients. People are emailing me every day asking what software I use and where they can get it. So for Window Trader, it's great. Trading Donkey, what's the exact tick of the volume cliff below 61.5? I'm a little confused by what you're asking. Yeah, there is that volume cliff there. Are you asking what's this one? That's 43.58. Is there any kind of info that can tell us who sold a lot of naked options, who can get squeezed? I don't know anything about that. If anybody in the chat has an idea. Jay, I'm an influencer. Bro, I think I've got like 30 followers on Instagram. uh. That is correct. We've been developing those little cliffs for the last few days. Short-term traders are seeing something there they like. And again, short-term doesn't mean they can't be buying 1,000-lot contracts. It just means they get out of their trades very quickly if they are wrong. Okay, advancers versus decliners starting to trend down here towards that zero line. Ticks as well, starting to trend down. I'm losing that bullish feeling. Feeling like rotation. Jay, were you 78th? Do I have 78? That's pretty good. Thank you. Tell your friends. Oh, that's something I wanted to ask. For any of you who are true members of the community here, if you have like another group that you're in for trading, please share that hypnosis video I posted yesterday. Let's get that thing spreading around in the trader sphere. All right, so that cliff just broke. Pulling value a little bit lower, still inside yesterday's value. So if we do start to trend down here, if the B period gets below the A period, remember there's lots of support in here. So don't start getting bearish unless we get below this level. Testing that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles once again. Right through it. One time framing lower. Okay, getting a liquidation here as we break that A period low. Donkey, fair enough. Well, Mangala, I was talking about that yesterday in the private room. You got to give it a few weeks. I did it years ago. I got into it just trying to work on like self-esteem issues and stuff like that. And I found this app that you can listen to different hypnosises that help you with stuff. And what's crazy is like you just listen to it for like a few weeks every night as you fall asleep, and it doesn't really feel like it's doing anything. And then randomly you start to have thoughts throughout the day that you then recognize are the ideas that were implanted in the hypnosis. So like the hypnosis might say something like, I am a person of value. People appreciate me, or something like that. And then you'll be sitting there one day working on something, and the idea will pop in your head, I'm a person of value. People appreciate me. And then you go, oh shit, there it is. Like I just thought that thought myself, but it was from the hypnosis. So yeah, you got to watch it for a few weeks every night when you go to bed, and then see if while you're trading, you don't start thinking about those things. You don't start saying to yourself, I choose a stop loss before I enter a trade. Oh shit, where did that come from? Okay, so now they're backfilling that liquidation, proving it was just a liquidation break and not more sellers piling on here. Mark, yeah, I use the opening and closing time as the regular trading hours, like exactly. I don't do any of the like before or after. So my regular trading hours profile is 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the rest of the time, it all fits into the overnight. Man, this really feels like it's going to be one of those rotational days where it just gets stuck in a tight range. No, is that an Al Franken character on SNL? Nah, bit before my time. Oh, it was in Living Color. Oh, you weren't in Living Color, people. Yeah, I grew up on that show too. I haven't missed an episode in over 20 years. I love that show. NQ really moving with some wild swings. Is it though? I know the volatility seems intense, but if we look at the candles right here, what's it really doing? It's just bouncing around inside of a range. Okay, internals all continuing to trend lower. Advancers versus decliners are starting to poke below that zero line. So once again, the area to watch is right around this overnight low. Call it basically like 48.25 to 48.25 to 43.50. This is the last support before the market starts to get bearish. But I could easily see us just pushing down, boop, and then rotating right back up. Don't get too excited. Nothing going on value, to be honest. Just chop the F out. I assume you're saying because value for today is inside value for yesterday, it's just rotational? Is that what you mean? I can get behind that. Jay, go up, please. No, no, no. You need to listen to that hypnosis track. If you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling like you want to tell the market what to do, that's your bias. You must just understand that the market doesn't generate positively or negatively charged information. Nothing about what it's doing right now should make you feel any emotions at all. It's just giving you a signal. Hey, we just want to rotate. It's just algorithms trading against short-term traders. That's all this is. Miles, yes, sir. And right now, that looks like the most likely scenario. Balance all day. I'll say it in the first 5 minutes, and I'll say it again. Nothing matters till we get above yesterday's high or below yesterday's low. In between, rotation. Sanju, did I take physics? No, that's just the terminology from that book, Trading in the Zone, positively and negatively charged. Yeah, so once again, guys, if I had to guess, and this I don't know this, right? I'm just making this up. This is not like a fact. I'm pulling this right out of my butt. But if I had to guess what's going on here is that, like I said, those larger institutions have put on bracketing algorithms this morning. So algorithms that are designed to keep the market in a tight range. And so the reason it keeps like pushing up and then boom, getting pulled way back down and then pushing down and boom, getting pushed way back up very quickly is that they're letting the short-term traders push it down, and then that algorithm kicks in and eats it all up, and vice versa. So I think it's just algorithms trading short-term traders here. I'm not going to jump in on a trade yet. I'm going to wait till I have some certainty. Cine Matt, listen to Trading in the Zone audiobook every day. That's a great idea. I mean, I would go nuts listening to it every day, but yeah, listening to the audiobook's a great idea. Miles, could this be the start of a new balancing area? It certainly looks like it. My instincts tell me we don't need to spend much time here, though. Like, I don't think we're going to bounce around in here for a week. I think it's just... maybe another day of rotating in here. But I think once we break out either to the upside or to the downside, we'll get a move, as opposed to like look above and fails, where it like pokes out, comes back down to the other end, pokes through, comes to the other end, like that kind of balancing area. I think it's just like we're grinding around in here, but once we break out one way or another, we'll get a good break. Risk of being short is the same as risk of being long. Yeah, I think that all depends on your time frame. So like if you're like a long-term trader, it's much more risky to be short than long. You have to be surgical with your entries if you're a long-term trader who shorts the market. But as a day trader, it's just about what the trend is or what the market is doing in that moment. If the market is trending down, there's more risk going long than short. On a rotational day, if you're above the POC, there's more risk going long than short. So it's on a super short-term basis, it doesn't really matter whether you're going long or short. It just matters what's happening in the market that day. But certainly over a longer-term basis, the market is certainly long bias. $777 Athletic. How does the monthly candle look? I don't know. It's been a minute since I looked at the monthly. Yeah, it looks like the beginning of balance. Balance, excess, balance, excess, balance, excess. Boom, boom, boom. That 20 is awfully close to crossing that 50 here, which is bearish. Good old rotation. It's just gonna rotation. Marco. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Thanos, 2018. $80 likes, guys. I appreciate you. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I'd have to listen to it, Salmon. Yeah, I just listened to a bit of it. I don't know that song well enough to do a cover. Sorry, man. C. Marshall, good morning to you. Ahoy. Yep, that's correct. We finally had the cessation of the monthly. Is that right? The quarter is closing right where it opened. That is nuts. Or the border was closing? No, I'm not touching that. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. Au revoir. The market looks like it's about to continue one time framing lower, which is bearish. Internals, they actually look more rotational. But the NQ looks like it's still trending lower on the ticks. On the NQ, you can look for support on that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candle. But on the ES, like I said, if we get below this node at 48, we're likely to need a pullback, a larger pullback. So things are starting to turn a little bearish. There you go. The one-time framing continues. It's gold popping. All right, guys. Well, I will bid you farewell. I'll be back tomorrow morning here on the YouTube. And of course, if you're not a member of the Brigade, you can always just click that link in the description. It only costs $10 a month, and you can keep hanging out for the rest of the day. Otherwise, I will see you here mañana. Thank you guys so very much. Appreciate those 86 likes, and we'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.